Hello, in this video we're going to be talking about getting a replacement car title for your vehicle. If you have a vehicle and you don't have a title in your hands, it may be difficult to sell the car, register it, even insure it in some cases, so you need to go ahead and get a title for it. This is Dave at cartitles.com. I'll talk about the different scenarios of how you may have a vehicle without a title. First of all, you may have had the title in your name and at some point just lost it. In that case, it's a pretty straightforward process to go down to the DMV and have them issue a duplicate. Now, this is only going to work if the actual title to the car was previously issued to you personally. It was printed on the front with your name on it, with your address, and it was your title to begin with. It also helps if you have the car currently registered in your name and insured. If for some reason you had a title that was signed over to you, or the prior owner still had the title in their name, this process is not going to help. You're not going to be able to go down to DMV and just have them issue you a title. It has to have been in your name. Really, all they're going to do is print out a title the same way it was printed out last, and if that last title owner was somebody else, they're not even going to give it to you. The other scenario is you purchased a car from somebody and they gave you their title and signed the back transferring it to you. Well, that's great, but if you've lost that title, the DMV doesn't know that car was ever transferred. It was never turned into them for them to issue a new title back. So if you have a vehicle and purchased it from somebody who just signed over the title, unless that title was transferred to your name at the DMV, they're not going to know about it. You're not going to be able to have them issue another one. The only title that will be issued is a duplicate in that person's name. So if you still have access to that person, go ahead and get in contact with them, have them request a duplicate title in their name, and then sign it over to you. Now, if you don't have access to that person, or they're not willing to get a duplicate, you may need to go to what's called a level 3 title recovery. In that instance, for example, if you don't know the prior owner, or you got the car and never had a title, or the title that you had, it maybe had 2 or 3 owners signed over on the back, and you can't reach the last title owner, you may need to do a level 3 title replacement. What that does is a process of going back through all the previous title owners and having each ownership claim or interest extinguished one by one through that chain of title, so the new title in your name is a clean title. There's no prior liens, no prior claims, nobody that can come out of the woodwork later and say, hey, that's my car, I want it back. You want the title clear in your name. So we have to extinguish all those prior liens and ownership. Sometimes the method is offered maybe a bonded title. We prefer not to do that because it will put a stamp on that title that means it can't be sold easily in the next 3 years. Another method you may run into is what's called a mechanic's lien title. In that case, a garage or tow truck company will say, look, we can put a mechanic's lien on your car and get you a title. The only problem with that is the mechanic's lien process is not designed to do a replacement title. It's designed for a licensed garage or repair facility to get their money. If somebody brings in a car for repairs and doesn't pay for it, they're supposed to advertise in the newspaper that this car is going to be up for auction 2 or 3 weeks in a row. They're supposed to auction it off to the highest bidder and then use that mechanic's lien to transfer the car to that highest bidder. It's not designed to get you a title just because you lost it. And in many cases, there have been titles that have been revoked from people who have used this process inappropriately. There's even been criminal prosecutions of people who have used the mechanic's lien process to get a replacement car title. You can run a Google search for mechanic's lien in Indianapolis. There was a group of people who were doing this and were prosecuted by the U.S. Secret Service. So be very wary of mechanic's lien process. You don't want to have your title revoked or more seriously have legal problems because of that. So replacement car title, you need a title to do anything with your car, to sell it, register it, transfer it, insure it. Make sure you know your scenario. If you simply just lost your title that was in your name, that's great. You can just go down to DMV. If the title was never in your name, it may require more detailed inquiry. If you have questions, you can reach us at our website, cartitles.com. There's probably a link right below this video you can click on as well that'll take you right to the site. We can answer any questions or point you in the right direction. What's the easiest way or least expensive way to get a replacement car title?